Morning everyone. We're carrying on our journey in English today of our story about a monster calls, and our third plot point is about powerful moonlight imagery, as you can see up there. Now the moonlight can be many things. It could be romantic, you could go out for a lovely romantic walk with someone, but actually for us today it's going to be threatening moonlight. Okay, it's going to have that edge to it. So I started off by looking at some images. Now, I don't know how much you can see, how clear that is, but I have attached it to the assignment, so you can open it up in Word or whatever software you use and have a good look. But I don't know if you can see, the moonlight is almost piercing. It's cutting through the windows. So poor Connor, he's had this horrendous nightmare. He's woken up, he's very disorientated, but he's starting to find the familiar things in his room, his teddy, his duvet. But then in the background, there's this moonlight piercing through his window, and we're going to use it in a threatening manner. So the first thing I wanted to do was pull together some words for cutting. Okay, so I came up with cut, I came up with pierced. It pierced the window, or it stabbed through it. Perhaps it penetrated the window. There's lots and lots of verbs you can use there. So the first thing I want you to do is to see if you can come up with 3 or 4 more of your own. And then you're going to use whichever word you choose to put into our sentence. So I'm going to put the first sentence together for you, and I'm going to keep it simple like I always do. Sorry, that noise is the cat flap. I'm going to keep it simple like I always do, so that your sentences can be better than mine, okay? And certainly yesterday your sentences were amazing. So I'm going to start off with the light of the moon. Now I did think about using moonlight, but again, moonlight, the word moonlight seems to be quite a nice word, quite a, there's the Moonlight Sonata, which is a beautiful piece of music. So I want the negative connotations, because we're thinking about negative impact of our writing here. So I thought the light of the moon just had that little edge to it. And I'm just going to say it cut, and it cut through the darkness. Because poor Connor is lying there in his bed recovering from a nightmare in the dark. It's the middle of the night. It was 7 minutes past 12, remember? So it would be pitch black out. His room is likely to be very, very dark. And then this moonlight is piercing through the window. Okay, time to pause me. If you want to look at the image again, that's there attached. You can print it off, you can look at it on screen, you can do whatever you want. Come up with your own words, and then using my model, write your opening sentence. I haven't drawn the lens for this one. I couldn't draw personification, it was too hard. But I think we all know what personification is, although I haven't mentioned it. The moon can't actually cut or stab. These are things that people can do. So we are giving the moon this personification, these human attributes to an inanimate object, which the moon is. Okay, we've done lots of work on personification. You're amazing. So off you go, get your first sentence done. If you want to deepen the moment, feel free to add in another sentence and maybe use your feelings lens. That might be a good one. Okay, I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, ready for chunk 2. So our second chunk is Alliteration, you know I love alliteration. It just gives that extra bit of oomph to your writing, doesn't it? It definitely gives it that boom that we're looking for. I did have a little go at drawing an ear and some sound waves, but you know, I need more practice. So I want to include some alliteration for the moon. So I'm looking for that initial start sound to be the same. So I came up with words. I didn't want them to sound too positive again. So magnificent, I'm not sure about magnificent. You might be happy with that. So I came up with mesmerizing. Magnetic, it's kind of got that pull, hasn't it, the moon? Whether it's literal or actually it just makes you stare at it. Magnificent or monumental. I'm sure there's lots and lots more, so see if you can think of any of your own. And I didn't write up my second chunk. I think I must have missed those off, so we'll do those together now. So I've said I've used magnetic because the moon has this kind of pull, this lure, doesn't it? It lures people in. It attracts them. Okay, so what other words could we use for luring or pulling? Well, we can have pulling. What else? Can you think of any? Okay, I'm going to have dragged. I am going to have beckon. Okay. Beckon, ed, yeah, for my past tense. Really, I should have put them all in the past tense, shouldn't I? We're telling a story, P-U-L-L, put my ed on the end. Maybe it tempted him. It's all got slightly different meanings, but they've all got that undercurrent of pulling him in, sucking him in, maybe hypnotising him, which would go quite well with mesmerising and hypnotising. Right, so my alliterative sentence, where are we going with that? I am going to go for, do I want mesmerising? I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to go with magnetic. So I'm going to have the magnetic moon. And what did the magnetic moon do? Well, I think it's saying, come outside, Connor. Come outside. So I'm going to say, it beckoned him. Okay, very, very. Do I want him or do I want Connor? I think I'm going to say Connor. Let's keep it really personal. The magnetic moon beckoned Connor. Okay, it's there, it's saying, come out, come on, Connor, come out. Very, very simple sentence. But the impact of it is from that precise vocabulary choices. So your turn. See if you can come up with any more alliterative adjectives for the moon. I'm sure you can. Any other words for this pulling, this beckoning, this come outside, Connor? And write yourselves your next sentence. Okay? Pause me. Come back when you're ready. Okay, final chunk for today. Now the lenses we're using are going to be our noticing lens and our feelings lens. So that's the focus, that's how we're looking at what's going on. But in our sentence, we're going to include adjectives in unusual places. This is an added twist to your writing to really mix it up and keep your reader engaged with what you're writing. Now, authors use this. Terry Pratchett, in particular, puts adjectives in unusual places. So you're in very good company with this one. So I was thinking about what was outside Connor's bedroom. And he lives in a house, probably a garden. So I think he's got a really big garden with trees. So I found a moonlit garden. This is more like a forest, but it could be a very big garden. And again, this is on the document that I've attached. So you can see the moonlight piercing the trees and all those shadows on the floor, okay? And it's the shadows that I'm thinking about. So I started thinking of words, of synonyms for dark or scary, that I could use to describe this shadowy garden, okay? So I had a few there: eerie, sinister, ominous, mysterious. Oh, I've just thought of another one. Where's my blue pen? Let's keep it good. Foreboding. Do you know what foreboding means? Foreboding is that feeling that something bad is going to happen. It's a very negative word because it suggests that something just around the corner is going to happen. So foreboding, I like that one. Now, the purpose of this one is to get some adjectives in unusual places. So I'm going to write a very, very simple sentence. And how can I lose pens at home as well? Right, I found it, sorry. I'm going to write a very, very simple sentence without any adjectives to start with about these shadows. And I'm just going to say that they lingered. The shadows lingered in the garden. I like that word, lingered. Really slow to go away. They were hanging around. The shadows lingered. Oh, lurked. That's a good word as well. I like lurked. Could have maybe used the shadows lurked in the garden. Now we've got these lovely adjectives. Haven't slotted them in. Normally you'd write the eerie, sinister shadows lingered in the garden, or the mysterious shadows lurked in the sinister garden. But we haven't. Where are we going to put them? We're going to put them at the end. So we're going to use a dash. We're treating them as parenthesis, and the dash is really look at me. Look at me. So the dash is for effect, okay? And now I'm going to choose two of my adjectives, and I'm going to use sinister and I am going to use a different one because I want Connor to feel that he's being threatened, that there's something out there threatening him. So I'm going to use threat, that's my root word, threat, and ing. Right, okay. The shadows lingered in the garden. Sinister, threatening. Can you see the impact of putting those adjectives unusually right at the end of the sentence? It's like any other technique. If you do it all the time, it loses its impact. But to be able to throw that in occasionally really gives your writing that edge. It just steps it up another level, and you're already starting from a pretty good place. Right, your turn. If you want to look at the picture again, you've got it. See if you can come up with a bit more vocabulary. Do your own, well, it's not jotting because you haven't got anyone to chat to, but your own jotting maybe. And then put together your final sentence. Okay, so at the end of the sentence, you're going to use a dash. And remember, a dash has a space either side of it. There's not many punctuation marks that have a space before it, but a dash does. Okay? And then you're going to finish it off with two powerful adjectives. Okay? Right. Have fun. Send me your work when it's done. It's looking amazing so far, and I'll see you later. Bye.